If you want a portfolio career but you currently have a 9 to 5, don't quit your job just yet. You actually don't need to. In fact, your 9 to 5 can be the first piece of your portfolio career. I now make about $100,000 a year across multiple income streams, working only about 25 hours a week. And this is through a mix of freelancing, making music, teaching, content creation, and digital products. But I didn't wake up one morning and just magically replace my salary with all of these different income streams. That happened over time and experimentation. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I would build a portfolio career while working a 9 to 5, where I'd start, how to choose what to try first, and how to know when you're actually ready to reduce your hours or quit your job entirely. So let's dive in. So first, I want you to stop thinking of it as quitting your job. I think this is where people can get stuck. They imagine two options. Option A, they stay in their 9 to 5 forever. Or option B, they quit their job, become an entrepreneur, and hope that they can make enough money. But there's this big middle ground that nobody talks about. And that's where a portfolio career lives. A portfolio career basically means that instead of relying on one job, one company, one paycheck, your career is made up of multiple different pieces. That could be a part-time job, freelance clients, consulting, teaching, a creative career selling digital products, content creation, rental property income, or having a small business. And you don't need to have 5 different income streams to call it a portfolio career. You can just start with 2. Your job plus 1 experiment. So step 1, keep the stability that you already have. I actually think having a 9 to 5 puts you in a really good position to start experimenting because you're not having to rely on your new income stream having to pay the mortgage. There's no pressure involved because your paycheck is doing that, which means you don't have to immediately ask, how is this going to turn into a 6-figure business? You can ask, do I actually enjoy this? Am I good at it? Will anyone pay me for it? Does this fit the kind of life that I want? And those are better questions to ask. So your job is essentially funding your experimentation phase. So instead of thinking, I need to escape my job is currently buying me the runway to build something else. And that mindset shift takes a lot of pressure off. Step 2, pick one small income experiment. And this is where multi-passionate people can get themselves into trouble because suddenly you realize, I could freelance, I could start a YouTube channel, I can sell template, I can become a consultant, start a Substack. And I know I've been there. And I'm trying to do all of the things. And then 3 weeks later, you're completely exhausted and making no money from any of them. So don't start building the entire portfolio yet. I know it could be really exciting. Just pick one experiment. And ideally, start with something that's going to start making money pretty quickly. So if you're great at graphic design, maybe that's getting one freelance client. If you're constantly helping coworkers with their resume, maybe you offer resume reviews. If you know email marketing, maybe you find one small business that needs that. The goal isn't find the thing I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. That is just way too much pressure. The goal is run one small experiment and collect information. Did I enjoy it? Did someone pay me for it? Do I want to do more of it? That's a successful experiment. Step 3, give yourself a very small time budget. This part is really important because we're not trying to add a second job on top of our already 40-hour work week. We do not want to be adding another 30 hours on top of that because now you're just giving yourself 2 jobs and you're probably going to burn out. Instead, decide how much of your life are you willing to give to this experiment. Maybe it's 5 hours a week and that could be enough. Maybe you work it on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Maybe you protect your Saturday mornings and you take your Sunday afternoons to work on the experiment. But I would put an actual limit on this because one of the most useful things that you can learn through this experiment is, can I make this work without it consuming my entire life? If something is making you $500 and it requires an extra 40 hours a week of work, that is not worth it. And that's useful information to have. If something makes you $500 in 5 hours, that's interesting. So you're not just tracking the money that you're making, but you're tracking the time and energy that it takes. Step 4, get to your first $1,000. I wouldn't make quit my job the first financial milestone. I'd make it, can I make my first $1,000 outside of my paycheck? Not necessarily even every month yet. Just prove that you can create income independent to your 9 to 5. That first $1,000 is crucial because that's evidence that you can do this. You're no longer thinking, maybe I can freelance freelance one day because you have. Or you're no longer thinking, maybe someone would buy something that I created, because they have. And once you've done it once, you can start figuring out, how do I make this repeatable? And that's when the experiment starts to become an income stream. Step 5, add, remove, and adjust. This is the part that I think most people misunderstand about portfolio careers. Your portfolio isn't supposed to stay the same forever. Think about an investment portfolio. You don't necessarily buy 5 stocks and think, great, these are the 5 stocks that I'm gonna have for the rest of my life. You rebalance, you diversify. Your career can work the same way. Maybe freelancing becomes 20% of your income. Maybe you discover you hate freelancing, so you just stop it entirely. Maybe a tiny digital product that you created starts selling a lot out of nowhere. Maybe your company lets you work only 4 days a week. Maybe you find a part-time role that pays you surprisingly well, and now you have more time to do other things. You are constantly gathering information and adjusting the mix. Step 6, don't leave your job just because your side income exists. Let's say you've built your first income stream. You're making $500 a month, then $1,000, then maybe $2,000. This is where it can get tempting to think, oh, okay, I can quit now. Not necessarily. I'd be looking at a few things first. Is the income consistent? One $5,000 month is very different from averaging $3,000 a month for a year. Do I have savings? Because variable income feels very different when you don't have a steady paycheck coming in every 2 weeks. Do I actually want to leave my job? This is an important one. A portfolio career doesn't necessarily mean self-employed. Maybe you love your job, but you just want to have some other options, some other income streams on the side. And then finally ask yourself, what am I moving toward? Don't leave just because you're desperate to get away from something. Ideally, you've built enough evidence, you know what you're moving toward. So what this could actually look like, let's make this really concrete. Right now, 9 to 5 equals 100% of your income. Then you start experimenting. Maybe a year from now, 9 to 5 equals 85% of your income, and freelancing equals 15%. Then eventually job is 60%, freelancing 25%, digital product you add in 10%, something else creative on the side, another 5%. And then maybe eventually the full-time job disappears, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe your ideal portfolio is part-time job plus freelancing plus content creation. There isn't one correct endpoint. It's whatever makes sense for you, what feels right for you. Maybe the goal isn't always entrepreneurship, but the goal is to build a career that gives you the combination of income, flexibility, security, variety, and energy that works for you. So your first step this week, if you're watching this and you have a 9 to 5 and think, okay, well, what do I actually do now? Don't write a resignation letter. Pick one thing that you can test over the next 30 days, one service you can offer, one tiny product you could create, one skill somebody might pay you for, one idea you've been thinking about for years. Give yourself just 5 hours a week and see what happens. And if you need ideas, I have a free multi-passionate money map guide that I'm going to leave in the description below, and it comes with 100 ways to make income from your various passions. So grab that if you want some ideas. And if your first experiment is freelancing, I have a video that walks you through how to make your first $1,000 freelancing. Start there, get your first piece of evidence that you can make money outside of your 9 to 5, and then start adding in another income stream. All right, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.